Usyk. So Usyk is coming to Top Rank.
Who said that?
I mean, I heard that he's leaving Matchroom. He's leaving Matchroom, and now he's going over to.
He's out of his contract with Matchroom. The only contract he has with Matchroom is that they make him a Joshua fight.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, he's free.
Mm-hmm.
So his manager, Igor Klimas,
mm-hmm.
same manager as Lomachenko, and a lot of the other fighters that fight for me,
mm-hmm.
I would love to have Usyk as part of my group.
What fight is one of your dream fights to make in 2021?
Well, I like Crawford and Spence.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be. I'm happy with. I think it's going to get made. It's Fury and Joshua.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward once we get fans to Josh Taylor and Jose Ramirez.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a corker of a fight.
Gotcha.
I'm looking forward if Joe Smith,
mm-hmm.
February 13th.
I'm excited for that too. I'm excited for
what?
that one. I'm excited for that one.
It beats the Russian.
Mm-hmm.
Then I would love to make Joe against Beterbiev.
Oh,
if
good
he
luck.
wins this fight, that would be tremendous, a unification fight.
Sure. We're going to wrap up. We got our co-host on. Go ahead, DB.
How you doing, Bob?
Good.
Good. Thanks for coming on again with us real quick. So, Fred did a great job, and I think Bill, Reggie, everybody kind of encapsulated what we all wanted to hear. So they asked a lot of my questions, but I just have a couple of quick follow-ups for you, and we get you out of here. First question is, do you have more of an allegiance to the fighter or to the fans?
That's very hard because I advocate for the fighter. I'm promoting the fighter, but without the fans, it's nothing. So that's a hard question. I don't know who I have more allegiance to. I mean, I have obviously allegiance to the fan. If the fan isn't really up for the fighter, if isn't up for the fight, I'm nowhere. And with the fighter, I'm only going to put him in a fight that I believe that he can win, right? So I don't know how to answer that question.
Did you say you would only put your fighter in a position in a fight where he can win?
Where I believe he could win. Yeah, I don't put a fighter in where he has no chance and he's just in there for a payday for me and him. I don't do that.
So is it more about how you
I don't put a fight out. That again goes back to Leonard Ellerby. What he was trying to say. It's risk reward.
Right. So if you were in a situation where you felt like, I'm going to just use hypotheticals. If you thought that Devin Haney was a bad matchup for Teofimo Lopez, in essence, you wouldn't make that fight because you didn't want to put Teofimo in a situation where you felt like he couldn't win. Is that what I'm hearing?
Only if, you sometimes make a fight because if let's say the fighter has a 40% chance of winning. So he's like, right, in your mind, an underdog. If the reward is great, you make that fight. It's risk reward. I think Teofimo, beats Haney and beats him fairly easily. But again, so that is not a factor in making the fight. I think for Teofimo, all of those three guys, I would make him a big favorite against any of those three guys. So I wouldn't hesitate to make any of those fights.
Understood. And I know he's kind of your prize guy right now with holding, three of the titles. Fred kind of asked you this question a little bit earlier, but where does that put Lomachenko in the mix? Since you said he wants to stay at 135, correct? I'm sorry, at 130.
No, I'm not sure. He keeps saying that he wants to fight at 135, not go down to 130. But we'll see. You know.
Do you think
Yeah.
Do you think that is because he's older and having an issue with making the weight?
No, he has no problem with the weight. No problem with the weight. You see, maybe he doesn't think there's enough challenges at 130, but there is. You know, there's the Berchelt Valdez winner. There's a huge fight with Shakur Stevenson. Once Shakur becomes 130-pound champion. So he has some big fights at 130, really big fights. And, you know, that's what I'll be talking to him about.
Right. And what do you think about him rematching Gary Russell Jr., since both of these guys have built their profiles and it was a relatively close fight before?
Well, yeah, that could be done down the road. But right now, you know, I want to put him in a title fight. And he can't go, I don't think he can make 126 anymore.
Title fight? So that's Devin Haney?
What?
So that's Devin
no,
Haney.
You said about Russell.
Okay, gotcha.
So I just want to be clear. So if Gary Russell Jr. is willing to fight him, even though he doesn't have the title at 130, if he's willing to fight Lomachenko in a rematch at 130, you feel like that's a pretty decent fight to make?
That is a decent fight, but Lomachenko wouldn't do it because you know he only wants to fight for a title. What am I going to do? So you know, if Lomachenko wins a title at 130, he would love to give Russell a rematch.
Okay, well, that's good news. That's good to hear. And the last thing, I got some bad hearing, so I just wanted to confirm: Teofimo and you and Teofimo Lopez and the Lopez family did not send a offer sheet or a contract over to Devin Haney's team, correct?
We didn't send an offer sheet to Devin Haney or to any other fighter in the world. There was no offer sheet that goes out. The Teofimo family doesn't send out offer sheets. I mean, we make the proposal as the promoter.
Right. So he was just captain
with them and so. But again, there was no offer sheet sent out to anybody. Anybody. What we're talking about now is making the fight in Australia with Cambosa, which is the IBF mandatory.
Gotcha.
Understood. All right, Bob. Yeah, that's all I have for you this time, man. We really appreciate you giving us the time and some of the answers. You know, we may not be happy with everything that's happening in boxing, but at least the sport is moving. So, you know, thanks again for coming out, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.
Bob, is Teofimo the undisputed 135 champion in the world?
Yes, yes.
Wow.
He has the 3 regular belts from the other organization and the franchise belt from the WBC. And the WBC says he's the undisputed champion.
Bob, you supposed to be helping me get rid of these belts, Bob.
What?
You supposed to be helping me get rid of these fake belts and these fake champions, man.
No comment. Good night.
Good night. Appreciate you, Bob, man. Couple of weeks. See you in a couple of weeks.
Okay, good.
And help us get Fury. Help us get Fury. We need him. Appreciate you, Bob.